Thank you, Agha Sahab. And I think after listening to a heavy dose of, well, मुश्किल अल्फाज, बहुत सारी thought provoking बातें, मेरा ख्याल है चाय पी ली जाए, थोड़ा सा rejuvenate करते हैं. Let's break for tea. The break is for 15 minutes and we'll assemble और उसके बाद फिर हम आगे की proceedings जारी रखेंगे. Please join us for tea. अच्छा, इसका echo कम रखिएगा. Echo कम रखिए इसका. I hope everyone is refreshed now. Nicotine level is, I think, leveled. So please, आ जाएं ताकि हम इसको recommence करें. साहिर कहते हैं इल्म व तहजीब तारीख़ व मंतक लोग सोचेंगे इन मसलों पर ज़िंदगी के मुशक्क़त कदे में कोई अहद फ़रागत तो आए. चाय पीने के बाद मेरा ख्याल है अब थोड़ी सी अहद फ़रागत है. मैं बुलाती हूँ डॉक्टर खालिद ज़हीर साहब को. A brief introduction of Dr. Khalid Zahir is that he is the Dean of Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences at University of Central Punjab. He completed his PhD from University of Wales in 1994 in Islamic economics. He has been religiously associated with Javed Ahmad Ghamdi Sahab, Dr. Israr Ahmad Sahab, Darse Quran and Darse Hadith. With all his deep studies and experience, he started teaching at Lahore University of Management Sciences from 1995 and later joined as a member of permanent faculty. His subjects were Islamic studies, Islam and modernization, issues on Islamic tradition and Islamic economics, Islamic ethics in business, taught at Institute of Business Administration, that is IBA, University of the Punjab, and was appointed as director at Al-Maurid. He has conducted numerous programs with the local TV channel and appeared in programs as guest in various others. He has authored various articles and delivered multiple lectures on topics relating to Islam and economics. So I invite Dr. Khalid Zahir Sahab to please come to the mic and contribute what he has to say. Sir.
Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulihil kareem. I'm extremely thankful to the organizers of this seminar for giving me the opportunity to make comments on this occasion on a wonderful presentation made by Mirza Shahnawaz Agha. I was talking to Mirza Saab and I was telling him that we were, to begin with, expected to be 5 speakers on the panel. Now that one of us has chosen to drop himself, we are left with 4. So would it not be a good idea that if we have 20 minutes each at our disposal, not that each one of us would like to consume 20 minutes? And he readily agreed. Yeah. So although I'm quite sure that my fuel is going to exhaust before 20 minutes, but I know that, I have 20 minutes to express myself. My presentation is going to be divided into 3 parts. In the first part, I will talk about the agreements that I have with the worthy speaker. In the second part, I'll try to mention some of the disagreements that I would dare to speak about with the speaker. And in the third one, I will try to talk on a topic which is the way ahead, the issue, the problem the worry that the speaker has in mind, which has prompted him to go for the presentation, I would like to make my own observations and recommendations. Let's talk first about the agreements. To begin with, I must say that it really is a wonderful idea that you have something in your mind for the welfare and betterment of the nation, and you put it across to the people, invite them. And, it really is a very good gesture on his part that Agha Sahab has actually allowed people like me to come over and express ourselves freely for or against what he has said. Not many people, I can assure you, would dare do that. So that in itself really is a remarkable achievement. I would agree with him completely that Islamic teachings stand for freedom of expression and freedom of research. And if we do not have freedom of thinking, understanding, expressing, you cannot have any worthwhile research done in the society, and no progress can take place. Therefore, it is imperative that we be tolerant, we be open-minded, and try to understand each other, our respective points of view, and the arguments. If the present state of affairs is completely the otherwise, it really is a tragedy. It is a very poor presentation of what Islam truly stands for. I completely agree with him. The second point where I agree with him, which of course is a natural corollary or emerges from the first point, is that in Islam, there is no possibility of imagining that people are illiterate and uneducated. I mean, education should be universal. Every child that is born in a Muslim society has a right to be educated at a certain decent minimum level, without which the kind of exploitation that we are trying to overcome would never be possible to be overcome. So education for all is what Islam most certainly very strongly stands for, and it's the birthright of every child that he or she should get it. The third area where I would completely agree with him is that the message of Islam is a balanced message, and it wants its followers to avoid the two extremes, the extreme materialism as well as he says, extreme mysticism, which is monasticism. You have to live in this world, and you have to live in this world and do all the obligations that you are expected to discharge as a good human, taking into account all the moral and religious obligations that you have to, as a consequence, take seriously. So there is no possibility that a Muslim would become so greedy that he or she would not take into consideration any of the moral principles, nor Islam would like us to just run away from worldly responsibilities to just worship God at some secluded place. I also completely agree with him on his understanding that in a Muslim society, the judges should enjoy the highest status. They should be the highest paid individuals who should really have no inclination, no possibility of getting tempted because of the people who are for them to judge, offering them baits and temptations. He also says that a judge should be the head of the state. Well, I agree with it. In actual fact, the earlier period of Islam, the Amir of the Muslims, Amirul Mu'mineen, was actually also responsible for discharging the judgments. So all judgments of the Qazis were actually emerging from the right conferred by the head of the state to the judges. So all judiciary was actually discharging its obligations because it was desired by the head of the state, and he himself happened to be therefore responsible for whatever judgments were made. That's how the Almighty has created us. We are all people with different minds, different approaches, different backgrounds. So it has to be that on some points we must disagree. Not for the sake of it, but that's how it is. So some of the points that he's mentioned are the ones wherein I do not feel very comfortable with. One of them is that, and of course it's quite likely that I may not have understood what has been mentioned properly. One of the things that the worthy speaker mentioned is that in Islam, money is a measure of labor alone. Honestly, I mean, as an unintelligent person, I submit I don't understand what it means. I think money is a medium of exchange. If you are an employer, you can hire the services of an employee. You can go to the market and purchase commodities. It's something which is a blessing of the Almighty if properly utilized, if it is not used as a means of exploitation. So it's not just a measure of the labor. I mean, it's a measure of everything that is there in the market for us to go and to buy. It really is a great facility. If by the mention that money is a measure of labor alone, we mean what Karl Marx said, that whatever the commodities are comprised of are either the endowment of nature or what human labor has enabled it to become. And whatever value addition is there is only attributable to the labor. The fact of the matter is that a person can own a commodity without him actually having worked for it at all, because of the fact that he is a wealthy person, and the wealth that he has been able to get hold of is what he got hold of through completely legitimate means. So that is one point where I probably may not have understood what was the real purpose, but I would say that I not completely agree with it. The second point where I am uncomfortable is the mention that all land belongs to Allah. Well, of course, all land belongs to Allah. It's not that I would disagree with it, but the kind of practical conclusion that has been attempted to be drawn, that no individual can own any piece of land, to my ordinary, humble understanding, is not what Islam stands for. Al-ardu kulluhu lillah actually means that everything that is here in this world belongs to Allah. You, myself, all that is there in this universe has actually been created by God. If I happen to be the owner of something for a certain while, it's a very temporary ownership and possession which is going to last for as long as I live, and even during my lifetime, it can actually be taken away from me by the will of Allah and be given to somebody else.